going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Chel Stars podcast. This week, there isn't too much to talk about, so we're going to be discussing the Canucks and the wonderful start to the season, the last few games that they've had, Kyle's Avalanche, and a few other teams as well we'll throw in there. We'll also be doing our weekly trivia and fan questions, which came from Instagram. So, Max, I'll kick it off to you, brother.
Thank you, Mikey, and welcome back. We missed you. I think Kyle is glad you're back, so he didn't have to do the intro.
Yeah, I missed you the most, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I took that a little bit out. I didn't want to be too harsh on Kyle today.
You said you're gonna rip on me. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, no, I was going to, but it's okay.
He'll rip you during the podcast. It's fine. All right, well, we can move on to... we only have really a few very minor news recap for you before we can move on. Just the other day, Phil Kessel is the new Iron Man of the NHL, skating in 990 consecutive games, which is pretty insane if you think about that. I think it dates back about 13 years, which is insane.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Insane.
That's a lot of consecutive games.
And
that's,
no kidding.
And that's a lot of Coca-Cola.
And hot dogs.
That's the thing.
All the people. That's who it is. Like.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. Totally. I love that it's Phil Kessel, and I feel like everybody kind of loves Phil Kessel. How can you not?
Yeah, you can't hate that guy.
Yeah.
And you're right, Aaron. Like, who better to have that Iron Man streak that everyone kind of like makes fun of him because like he eats hot dogs, drinks Coke, but doesn't really look like your typical like athlete. But yeah, that's a remarkable stat, to be honest.
He doesn't really have the physique of an Iron Man, but he made it happen.
Yeah. So
All factors were against him, and he still succeeded.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't play an overly physical game, so players that hit a lot are more are bound to get injured more often as well.
That is a little bit I've seen online, some controversy about the fact that he has had some of those games where he's only played like a shift and then left just to keep that streak. I'm curious what your guys' opinion are on whether that makes it not as, I don't know, true in a sense that it is really Iron Man, if he's just doing that to keep it.
Yes and no. Phil the Thrill, so whatever.
I mean, I think it was only earlier in the season that happened once. I think
He played it.
his wife was having a child.
Yeah, there was that one specific one where he left because of the baby. Fair enough. But I think your point, Corey, about just not playing quite as physical. But still, I mean, Clearly 990, did you say it was, Max?
Yep.
You can't really argue that no matter what.
Like 1,000 games without missing due to injury, playing professional ice hockey. That's really quite a stat.
Especially when you think like maybe one guy on each team a year will play all 82 games, if that.
Yeah.
That's true.
So to play that many seasons in a row.
And don't forget COVID.
Oh, yeah.
How that's impacted basically everyone. I wonder how many players have gone through these last few seasons playing every game.
That's actually a really good point. I didn't think about COVID. That's even more impressive.
COVID is, hot dogs.
Yeah, that means he dodged all the like the false negatives, all the COVID outbreaks. That's impressive as heck. Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's more impressive the more you think about it. Yeah, so here's hoping he can get 10 more and continue on from there. Who cares?
1,000 more.
Okay.
1,000 more.
Does anyone know, in all seriousness, what the record is?
Him.
Is this like all time? Like there's nobody, right?
Well, you asked Yandel.
So who was before this? It was
Yandel.
800 or 989?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Yandel, and there's some other guy from like the 80s or 90s.
Is there anybody that's close to Kessel? I guess that was my point. I didn't phrase that very well.
Not in the
Great
top 5.
question.
I saw the top 5, and the only like current one is him. Number 5 was Patrick Marleau, who obviously
Yeah.
retired.
Jeez.
I don't know who else would be the closest.
Andrew Cogliano was close, but then he got suspended a couple of years back for some really chintzy thing. Brett Burns, 685.
Damn. Okay.
Is the closest, but
Wow.
That's a while
Yeah,
ways
it's gonna
away.
be a long time till somebody catches him then.
Burns ain't making.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool stat here. Moving on to news earlier from this morning.
wait. Hold up one sec.
Oh, you got it?
So no. This is just a wild stat at the bottom of this list. So the record for most games played in a row by a goalie is 503.
Holy
Wow.
That's a record that will never be broken.
shit. Yeah, no.
What, do you know
Wow.
what year that is from?
1955 to 1962.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, fair.
Glenn Hall.
Hmm.
Who was also built like Phil Kessel. Oh no, he wasn't. He was still... I thought he was a bigger guy. Maybe that was later in his career.
Interesting. That is never getting broken.
Yeah.
Anyways, Kyle, you got any more fun facts?
No. I got more coming up with the trivia, but that's it for now.
Fair enough. Yeah, so like I was saying from earlier this morning, we got news of Brad Marchand returning from injury. I believe he was supposed to still be about exactly like a month left on his recovery time from, I believe it was both hip surgeries, or, both sides, which is pretty crazy that he's returned that quick. Not that Canucks fans like him, so I don't know why I'm saying this.
Because he's on your fantasy team, you have to be happy about it.
Somewhat.
Because he cooked tonight. That's why.
He cooked.
What
How'd he
was
do?
that, 4 points in his debut?
No
Or
way.
3?
3 or 4, yeah. He had like 7
He had
fantasy
2
points.
goals. Yeah, 2 goals and an assist.
Yeah.
Holy.
You-
Safe to say he's not that rusty.
He cooked.
And the game-winning goal. Oh, and a face-off win.
Oh.
Well, what matters?
1-for-1 in the dot. That's why I had a good game.
There you go.
You know what, Kyle? 1-for-1. You know what I call it when Marchand cooks?
What?
Ratatouille.
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope I don't know. He can't come back early. That's a big surgery he had. So, I know personally I was staying away from him in fantasy. Not just the fact that he's missing time, but the fact that I wasn't super confident he'll return to form right away, because that's quite an operation. But I mean, sure, if he comes back to form, Boston's playing well, so it's good for them.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say, Corey, is I was about to say, I don't know if he's going to be good for the first month while he catches up, but I'm glad Mikey said that he was cooking before I said that, or else it would have sounded like an idiot. So.
Yeah. Yeah, there's already
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, when's McAvoy slated to return?
End of
I think
December?
Yes.
Hmm.
Still a bit. But yeah, Marchand's
Yeah.
already reported to not play like a back-to-backs. They play tomorrow, but he's not going to be playing that. So, but it seems like he's not as rusty. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much about does it for all the news here.
Yeah, I can't believe that the 2 injured players that I drafted were Landeskog and McAvoy, and they're the 2 that are going to take the longest to get back. And I just completely avoided Marchand.
Yeah.
I gifted him super late.
Where did you get him in the draft?
In our he was my 19th player.
Jeez Louise. Well, good for you.
For you guys listening, it's a 6-team league, so 109th he went, which is pretty good, I think. I wasn't expecting him to be back this early.
Well, I'm disappointed. Anyways, let's move on.
Yeah, I guess that's all the immediate recent news. We will get to the Canucks in a second. But we did have some questions from listeners about our podcast name, Chel Stars, and what is the origin around that. Well, if you don't know, Chel has become pretty common slang in the hockey community for NHL, shortened to Chel, although adding a letter. It is abbreviated version, and it's common for the video game just called Chel. If I were to use it in a sentence, I would say, "Hey, do you want a Chel?" Or how about some Chel? What?
Do you want to rip some Chel?
Ooh, rip some Chel.
Are these all direct quotes from Mikey?
Yeah. And then the Stars just kind of came about. It was our fantasy hockey league name was Chel Stars, and that we just kind of continued the moniker, and that's kind of been our tight knit group. Yeah, Chel Stars kind of flows off the tongue. I like it. Sounds good. And so if you're wondering what the heck is a Chel, that's a Chel. Yeah.
That is a Chel. And I think it goes with, or I think we should mention that there's a sixth member of the Chel Star group as well, Rayhan, who is a doctor, so he's not able to join us ever.
He's too smart for us.
Yeah.
He's a
There's
bit.
no time for us anymore.
We will get him on at some point here, but yes, we do have a sixth member, Rayhan. Yeah. So if you're wondering, now wonder no longer. And now we're kind of opening it up, and now anyone can join us as a listener and be a Chel Star with us.
Competing for the naming rights with some Dogs Hotel in
Oh no.
West Georgia.
Oh yes, let's not get into that. We definitely should get a trademark and copyright going immediately following this podcast. Actually, yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, where was that? Was a hotel or something? What'd you say? What was it, Kyle?
A dog hotel in some sort of
Yeah.
Bible Belt state.
Yeah, that's potentially.
Our lawyers have advised us not to comment any further.
Okay, let's get into it. And as I'm segueing here, it appears the Canucks just scored. We're watching live the Seattle.
Oh my God, they did!
Holy shit. Corey's ahead of us.
Just scored the go-ahead goal. It looks like
Oh, what an ugly one!
Or Luke or Patterson here.
I play-by-play.
Wow, some looks like PD got the tip in, and Canucks have gone up 4-3 in the third period against Seattle. So while we're doing this podcast tonight, we're anxiously hoping Canucks can get their first win. I'm don't want to get too ahead of myself as but yeah, we're gonna head into some Canucks talk now. How they're doing so far, which is not great. A couple more losses since we last spoke to you. Since last week, lost the home opener against Buffalo. Also lost at home to Carolina, and currently playing Seattle right now. And they've made a trade. Maybe let's discuss the trade really quick. If Max or Kyle, one of you has the players, the names for that one.
Yeah,
I got it because I got nothing else to contribute to this part.
That's fair. Go ahead.
So the Canucks acquired Bruins fourth line forward Jack Studnicka in return for prospect Jonathan Myrenberg and goaltending kind of prospect Michael DiPietro.
Yeah, what's the record? Anyone have the the info on these players here?
I don't think Studnicka is very interesting. He's just going to be your like fourth line grinder type.
It was
I
kind
don't
of that
think he's-
picture I seen on Twitter that I put on the Instagram group that kind of like
Yeah, I didn't like that.
it just like that's the biggest thing that this guy said was Canucks just traded their best right shot defense prospect as well as a former Team Canada World Junior goalie for a player who can be a 14th forward on a healthy Canucks group.
I
Yeah,
understand getting rid of the goalie because he's not really gonna make our lineup at this point, but the
Yeah.
defense part really throws me off. Like, this guy's 19. He hasn't even really proved himself yet, and we're just gonna get rid of him and get another forward that we don't really need. Doesn't really make sense.
I think we did it just to fill Lazar's spot for the time being because he was that third, fourth line forward.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's kind of the reason. Once Lazar comes back, you'll be seeing Jason back in the AHL.
Yeah.
Are.
I mean, I think DiPietro was requesting a trade from what I know, and personally, I don't like. He wasn't even starting. Like, Spencer Martin was starting in Utica and Abbotsford, so I don't think he's really going to be maybe a backup. I think in the NHL. So I know he was a Team Canada goalie, but if that's what you're bringing up, like,
Yeah,
that
I was
years
gonna
ago.
say. I was gonna say
years
you
ago.
can't live on potential based
Yeah.
5 or 6
Yeah.
years ago.
That was a long time ago, and I've seen his NHL debut live with my dad, and he got lit up.
Yeah, well,
He's a
the
short
team-
goalie.
Yeah, unfortunately, is not the biggest. And then in terms of the defenseman, I mean, maybe he wasn't going to re-sign, or they weren't going to re-sign him. I mean, sure, he's our best defensive prospect, but is he that great of a prospect? I don't know. I mean,
It sounds like he's a top 6 max,
yeah,
like
yeah.
probably an AHL defenseman.
He was a
Yeah, that's-
rounder.
Yeah, those were my thoughts too. So I don't think people are kind of criticizing the deal, but they probably turned nothing into maybe Aaron, did you say maybe just a fill a hole while someone's hurt? So I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be personally.
Yeah,
But
I know
it-
that had that comment, but yeah, I mean, just if you look at Studnick, I just have his stats here. For the last 4 seasons, he's played only 38 games with the Bruins, 1 goal and 6 assists.
How old is he?
He's 23, I believe. 24?
23.
Yeah, 23.
All right. So he's just a fringe player.
Yeah, I saw some comments. He just never really fit into their system. Like, who knows if something can change with the Canucks, but I mean, you never know.
So they're picking a guy that can play NHL games opposed to, and they're just kind of getting rid of guys that are farm team right now. Yeah. Okay, that's all I see from it. If the defenseman becomes a NHL player, then I'll eat my words. But
I mean, maybe that's the real concerning part, that our best defensive prospect was a guy that is maybe just AHL level quality. That's the more concerning
Yeah.
part.
I don't know if
I-
he's the best defensive,
we got rid
but
of
they
him.
said
We
the
got
best
rid of him.
right-handed,
oh,
Yeah, I mean,
not the
Yeah,
best overall.
I hope
guys,
not.
No.
you're forgetting we have Elias Pettersson
That's true.
as a prospect. Come
Is he a
on.
left-handed?
He's
Okay,
he's
we're good.
left-handed. He was
Don't forget about Jet Wu.
Chad. Oh god.
Ooh.
Is he also
ah,
left-handed?
Chetwoo.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Jet Wu's a
Everyone's
righty.
Is he? Well,
Uh-oh.
he's no longer a prospect in my eyes.
Yeah, it's hard. People talk about potential for so long, and at some point, it's very hard to make the NHL. At some point, it's if every prospect hit their potential, our team would be full of stars. every team would be full of stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, every draft pick would work out.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I think like at least in his Pittsburgh days, Rutherford has some good trades under his belt. So, like I just wait and see. Anyway, moving on from the trade, let's talk about the Canucks and what their problem is. I watched the Carolina game, their last game, and wow, I was really, really disappointed in the performance. And that third period, to anybody that watched that game, and especially that third period, that was a pathetic performance. They were completely outplayed, not just in the shot department.
I'd agree.
But they're like, wow, I know they have injuries, especially missing Quinn Hughes, but they had absolutely zero breakout out of their zone. The structure, they were just dumped and chased for the whole period. The one goal they got in that period was kind of a fluke. It hit the defender's face, and I think Miller, who was just so pissed off, just hit the puck as hard as he could. And then Carolina's 2 goals, you might say it was a fluke as well, but they got in front of our defense twice. Our players missed their checks twice. And even when we were pressing, when we were down a goal, it was Carolina that was all over the forecheck, getting shots. That was one of the worst performances I've seen from the Canucks, and they just didn't play as a unit. So yeah, really, really disheartening to watch as a fan. I think they've got some tough. The more they lose, the more games they fall into this hole. I think the dressing room gets a bit looser. You know, obviously, people kind of are at ends. Nobody likes losing, right? And the more they go without just their first win, the media keeps talking and talking about it. So, let's get some other thoughts from that Carolina game. Anything else you noticed?
What was that heated discussion between Schenn and Miller about?
I don't know specifically. Does anyone have any details?
No, I don't know. It didn't really look like much. It was just a little bit of back and forth, but didn't really
It was just off of a alleged turnover by Miller or a lack of effort. I'm not too sure fully, but I think it was something to do with that.
I'm going to comment first on the home opener and the recent Carolina game because I was at both of those games. And just like Corey hit the nail on the coffin there with the Carolina game, even though we were outshot, the Canucks team and looked like they wanted to come back into the game. And I've seen Canucks come back many of times throughout the years. They used to be known as the comeback kids, when they were losing, because they have so much heart and effort. But literally, nothing was there. The home opener was just super disgraceful. Jerseys thrown on the ice. People are booing last 5 minutes. Whenever Miller had the puck, people would boo. The fans really gave it to him. I think it was a little bit better in the Carolina game with the last 5 minutes. People were actually cheering and trying to get the Canucks riled up. I didn't hear really any boos compared to the first game. But yeah, the first home opener with the jerseys thrown on the ice too, that was just a disgusting game. I know Buffalo is kind of on fire right now. They're playing a great team and a great unit, but wow, 5-1 against them. And you're leaving players open in front of the net Tage Thompson. He's going to rip it every time. And that's what happened.
So Mikey, were they specifically booing Miller or everybody?
Yeah. So when Miller had the puck, they would boo him. But in general,
really,
even if he was even if he didn't have the puck, you were hearing boos the last 5 minutes of that game. People were leaving early. The stands were empty by the last minute.
Yeah, I saw a news story earlier today about Miller and his family out at the pumpkin patch getting heckled by fans with his kids trying to pick out pumpkins next to him. And I mean that's
which is not cool.
A step too far.
No.
Which is not cool. Yeah.
That's not cool.
But yeah, I didn't realize they were specifically booing him only. during the game too. That's pretty crazy. Not to say perhaps he doesn't deserve it when he's playing, but you know what I mean? Like, there's a time and a place. I don't know.
I mean, he just signed this massive contract, and I think everyone's just kind of like, we could have gotten rid of him and, like, got some prospects or some younger players to kind of work around. But instead, we signed him for a massive deal, and now he's just kind of there. Like, his stat the first few games of the season, when he was on ice for all 8 goals in the first, like, 2-3 games or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what needs to change, but if they don't get a win soon, like Corey said, like, the media is going to be all over them, and the dressing room is just going to be toxic.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And players you don't necessarily want to leave the team, they're going to eventually leave the team. Just maybe because they don't like the environment, or maybe the management, the ownership just thinks it's kind of time for a new thing.
Tough place to play.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. Like,
one thing I kind of noticed this game, like, I watched a bit of the Hurricanes game, but I think the Canucks are a lot faster, harder on pucks this game, so.
They do look a lot more physical tonight. Like, there was 2 fights within the first few minutes.
Yep.
Another attempted fight, all from top 6 guys. I know Miller specifically, the past few games, he just looks like he's feeling sorry for himself. This game, he looks more angry. And, like, there's actually a purpose behind his play, so that's a positive change. Maybe it's finally getting to them in a good way. But yeah, we'll see how their last 10 minutes here go. But
yeah, it's currently 4-3 with 10 minutes left in the third. 4-3 for the Canucks, that is. They are being outshot 18-29.
I will say, though, that Carolina game, if Demko was not in net, it would have been a really, really, really bad score. Demko honestly played the best he did that game.
Yeah, Demko's been really getting a lot of heat for how he's playing. I know he's definitely not playing to what he wants, his standards to be, and he's letting in a few softies here and there, but the blame isn't on him. I've never looked at him throughout this whole first 7 games and been, okay, he's the problem. It's pretty much what's in front of him. And he's taking a lot of heat, and his stats don't look good at all, but that's not his fault.
Well, no, it's the team's lost every game.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, how can you blame the goalie?
the quality of the shots that Seattle's getting this game compared to the Canucks are just insane. Like, so many of their shots are like legitimate one-on-one actual scoring opportunities.
Yeah.
Like, Demko is still saving them to this moment.
Well, there's been 2 breakaways for Seattle, and they've both scored them.
Yeah, Canucks defense is just terrible this year. Their defensive game is nowhere to be found. And again, I know they have injuries, but it's how the team is playing. And, you know, that goes back to the coach, really.
Like, even without the injuries, like, with the proper lineup, they still don't have a great defense. We all knew about this. We all discussed it on the podcast before, how that could be, like, their downfall.
So do we think it's the skill of the defense themselves or the structure that Boudreau's having them play?
It's it's both, I think. I mean, Hughes being out doesn't help, but yeah, they're Seattle is all over them right now. They're paying to, like, with
what a save.
Sorry.
Kyle, you're so delayed.
Myers and Ekman-Larsson are both healthy.
Yeah.
If you have 2 defensemen making $14 million, you shouldn't be having defensive problems. But those 2 are not playing their value.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're putting that much money into 2 defensemen, like, they should not have as much trouble as they are. So let's keep an eye on this game. We got 8 minutes to go here. It's still a 1-goal lead. we'll come back to it once this game is over. But I'll pass it over to Kyle for our next segment.
Was it trivia time?
It's trivia time.
Ooh, let's go.
Perfect. Awesome. We will be back to the game shortly for a live recap.
I kind of just want your
Everyone's
thoughts real quick, Kyle, on how the Avs are doing, because I know it's not really as hard of a start as they had last season. So I just want your quick on what you think is going on here.
Yeah, if I'm 100% honest, I haven't really watched too much, unfortunately. So, and I'm not even that concerned. I know that
Wow.
with the skill and the depth that they have, they'll make the playoffs, and then from there, we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out. Do I want them to be 7-0 or 8-0? Absolutely. I think Frankie still hasn't found his groove as a backup goalie, but Georgiev is playing unreal lately. I think it's just a little Stanley Cup hangover action with just a bit of consistency, and we'll get there. I'm not too worried.
It must be nice to not have to worry.
Yeah.
It's a pretty crazy feeling. Yeah. Who do we play? We play New Jersey tomorrow. Should be good. Yeah, we're just cruising and in second place in the division, and yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I don't have much to say.
Colorado is raising banners, singing all the small things. Meanwhile, Vancouver is just on fire. Jersey's on the ice. Anyways.
Just complete opposites.
Yeah, honestly. I'm watching Demko sprawl around here. Shots are flying at him. He's like turning around. Myers lying on the ice.
Oh my God,
Demko does like to flail around a little bit, eh? There's a couple.
He needed to. The defensive.
No. I understand. It's
He actually
just
blocked it for once.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, trivia time. Good.
okay, trivia time. I got so many of these things made up. I don't know which one to go with. Do you want 1, 2, or 3 level hardness?
1.
Do a 1 and then do a 2 or something like that.
I got a 1 and I got a 3, I think, because
let's do
my pack question is going to be a 3, because I don't think any of you guys will get it.
Let's do that.
Okay, let's rock and roll. So this first one's going to be our general question. So a bit more recent history than the pack question. Let's rock and roll. Okay. Hint number 1, this undrafted player signed with Philly and joined their franchise for the 2010 season. Building on top of that, hint number 2, this player was hampered by groin injuries early in his career, which forced him to lose 17 pounds of muscle mass going into the 2016 season to increase his flexibility.
Holy shit.
Going into which season?
2016.
2016. And he was signed in 2010, you said?
He was signed undrafted entry-level contract in 2010. And obviously, like I kind of mentioned, he suffered a lot of groin injuries early in his career.
Okay.
Hint number 3. You guys ready?
Yep.
Wait, do you have any?
No, I just want to quickly say that Seattle just tied it up.
Let me wait 20 seconds and check it out.
No, they called no goal.
Did they call no goal?
Yep.
Yeah, no goal.
Yeah, that's no goal. That thing was that thing was 10 feet in the air.
Crossbar. High stick. No goal.
Okay.
Scared me there.
All right. I think I have an inkling, Kyle.
Do you? Okay. So no got it, but almost.
I have an idea. Okay, I have a guess. Yes, I have a guess.
Okay. Hint number 3. This goalie would go on to win the Vezina Trophy the following season, which is the 2016-17 season. And hint number 4, this goalie is the third winning. This player is the third winningest Russian goalie of all time.
Oh,
This is the one for difficulty.
This is the one, yeah. Okay.
What?
Man, Jesus.
So
does he still
this
play in the
guy's-
NHL?
yes, he's still an active player.
Oh,
I think I know who it
You
is.
said he signed with Philadelphia. Is that what you said?
He signed with Philadelphia.
And
Double deal.
does he play on a certain team called Florida?
Yes.
Okay, I got it now.
Okay.
Bobby.
I think I got it now.
Mike, he really wanted that point. He really wanted to get added to the list. So
Was that
When
your
did-
guess, Corey?
thinking?
Well, when you said Vezina, I was thinking, but I didn't know Bobrovsky ever played on Philadelphia.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I
that
did.
totally threw me off.
I did not know that.
I didn't know about that
so
16-pound thing.
yeah, that was actually something that I, for some reason, like remember very vividly, was the fact that because he used to play at, I think it was 200 pounds or 205 pounds, so he was a really big goalie, right? And what kept on happening is he was just too strong for his frame, so he had to lose 17 pounds, and his playing weight is now 182, so he's a little bit slimmer. Okay, I guess that was a bit harder than I remember making it out to be. I'm sorry. As soon as I was reading the hints off, I was like, oh damn, this isn't a one. But I remember why, because I didn't want like a current player to have a super easy path, because I thought it'd be a bit too easy if I.
No, yeah, you got us with that one. I did not know.
Yeah.
Most of those
So
facts.
Bobrovsky
Right.
signed in Philly. I think he played there for like 2 seasons, and then he got traded to Columbus, and then eventually signed with the Panthers. Sorry.
Right. I'm remembering that now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's won. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say he's won 2 Vezinas a few years apart, which is
Oh did he
Which is-
win? Oh, he
won
won a
2
Vezina. Shit, he did win one really early on in Columbus.
Yeah. So normally you see the kind of winners close together, right? I think it's like 4 or 5 years apart, maybe, which is not too common,
Yeah, absolutely.
unless you're Brodeur and you win like 10 in a row. Anyways, yeah, number 2.
Okay, perfect. Number 2. So this one's made out for Max's dad, Pat. I'm thinking he's gonna get this one, and I would be super duper impressed if any of you guys got it.
Oh boy.
Since this person's prime was before we were all born.
Oh boy.
Okay. Hint number 1. This player was drafted twice in his career. Once by Calgary in 1981, and then later by Minnesota in 2000.
Holy.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wow.
How does that happen?
I know. I want the background after this.
I'm out.
Okay. Hint number 2. This goaltender picked up his 300th career victory and 7 penalty minutes on the game in the game known as Bloody Wednesday.
Again, we'll come back to this with more history from you, please.
Sounds good.
I'm just thinking of goalies that like to fight.
Would do that.
Yeah, I would do that. Yeah.
Hint number 3. This player won 2 Stanley Cups. His first in 1989 and his second in 1997. He took home the Conn Smythe Trophy for Detroit in 1997. And Wait, no guesses, guys? Nothing?
I have a guess. I have a guess.
Oh, you okay. Hold on. Corey's got it, so we'll hold tight on that one. Hint number 4. He is one of 3 players to have his jersey number retired by the Calgary Flames. The other 2 are Lanny McDonald and Joe McGinley.
Oh my god! I feel like Corey, you have it.
I think so.
Can you repeat the first hint real quick before he guesses?
Yeah, for sure.
What team did he get drafted by?
This player was drafted twice in his career, once by Calgary in 1981, and then later by Minnesota in 2000.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I feel like this guy's a certain special somebody to be drafted twice.
300 wins, yeah.
Okay, Corey, what's the guess?
Is it Mike Vernon?
Hell yeah.
Oh wow!
How did you hear that?
I just it's before my time, but I know he played for Calgary and Detroit, and I think Conn Smythe and things like that. I did not know he was drafted twice and by the Wild in 2000. I did not know that.
So let's go back to that. Kyle, can you explain that drafted twice? How did that even happen?
So the Minnesota Wild were an expansion team in the 2000 year, so he was drafted in the expansion draft.
That's such...
that.
I was thinking this dude literally walked across the stage twice at draft day.
At like 30 years old.
20 years apart.
I feel like you have to specify that it's an expansion draft. That's kind of... Anyways.
Hey,
I think that's what made it harder.
Well, I didn't say he got drafted in the entry draft by Calgary.
It's true.
So
That's true.
Also, was it... Because it's that famous fight, too. That's why I remembered him, too. Is it with Patrick Waugh? Is that the fight?
Absolutely. Yeah. So his 300th career win came on that huge on the game where the huge brawl between the Avalanche and the Red Wings. So,
Right.
But he only picked up 17 minutes in or 7 minutes in penalties, so he got 5 minutes for fighting and like 2 minutes for crossing the center line or something like that.
Jesus.
That's not bad. Well, that was a good one.
Yeah, and then I think everything else on there is pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, he won with the Flames when they won their cup, and yeah, so awesome.
Now, Kyle, before we move on from the trivia, do you want to just go over our Instagram trivia question?
Absolutely. Was it you, Aaron, that made that one up?
It was me.
Nice.
And our
Perfect.
answer was, you got it right, let's hear it.
Val Nichushkin.
Yeah, not quite as hard as your hints.
Nichushkin.
But I am curious. I know, Kyle, you commented Max had an answer too about how soon you were able to guess that.
Canucks got an empty net goal. Sorry. Had to say it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Connor Garland, baby. Is that the first one?
Woo.
His last goal is a Canuck.
Jesus.
So
Wow.
I'm kidding. Wow. So I got the Nichushkin hint on the hard level. So the second hint.
I thought you might.
Where in 2016 he left for the NHL to play in Russia for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guessed him on hard, but then the moderate kind of just, guaranteed that answer.
Exactly. Yeah.
And for our listeners, we want to hear your guesses and comments on these posts. So, no one's going to judge you if you're wrong. No one's going to make fun of you. Personally, I didn't get Nichushkin, so I missed that one. But yeah, comments and play along, because we want you guys to play along with these posts.
Yeah, we did have a few people guess in the comments, and they were all spot on as well. So congratulations to you.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good.
You know who you are.
It is on the honor code, so no Googling.
And no looking at the comments.
Yeah. That's the one thing that you guys both failed at, is revealing the answer rather than telling us when you got the answer.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
Oh,
We gotta read the facts a
I
little bit
see.
closer.
Okay. Okay. I got excited that I knew it after the hard hint. Oops.
I did the same.
I know you did.
Perfect. Yeah. So I mean, I'll just quickly go over our little fan question here for you guys, as well as the results from the previous one, which we talked about the reverse retro jerseys. You guys all replied with similar, thoughts as us. We had answers of Tampa Bay, Los Angeles, and San Jose, all with some pretty nifty jerseys, I would say. So I think we'd all agree with that. But Mikey, you were not present for the last podcast. So do you have any thoughts on your least faves? And
Yeah, so I did like a 3 and 3 just because there were so many of them. My least favorite ones were the Sabres, Bruins, and Montreal, just because they don't really look that appealing to me. Just by their logos and stuff. All the other teams were kind of creative with it. My favorite ones are Washington, Hurricanes, and Seattle. Seattle because the colors, and I mean the Washington brought back their throwback jerseys, which I love.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
like the vintage, like Ovechkin, like young Ovechkin days. Yeah.
Tinted visor, yellow laces of Ovechkin.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know the type of Ovechkin that's just going to score like 14 goals on Seattle.
oh boy,
So,
Canucks.
Oh.
Let's bring up this. We had a late Tyler Myers penalty, and Canucks did get an empty net goal, but Seattle just scored, and it is now 5-4 Vancouver with about 30 seconds left.
This podcast might be silent for 30 seconds. Sorry, guys. if oh my god.
Yeah. And my gosh,
Yeah.
it's
Our penalty kill sucks.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Demko, where are you going, brother?
Anyways, I can take over here with our next fan question for you guys. It was probably might be a brief discussion here based off of what happens in the next 30 seconds. Our question for you guys is, will Bruce Boudreau be the head coach for the Canucks next year? Obviously, his contract is up after this season. Rutherford has made some questionable comments already about the team structure and if he even wants Boudreau behind the bench. So, do we see him even making the rest of this season? So that's our question for you guys. Yeah, and now we have to play out these next 30 seconds here in hopes the Canucks can hang on.
I am on the edge of my seat, bro.
Yeah.
I've seen this happen way too many times.
Oh no.
I personally don't think Boudreau will be the Canucks coach next season.
Oh my god, I thought that went in.
I definitely agree. Like, even if he makes it the whole season, just mainly based on Rutherford's comments on like how he didn't even think he was going to be the coach this year, it doesn't really seem like he's too big of a fan of him.
Oh.
So unless something really changes,
Oh my god, Miller with an insane block.
We did it. Canucks win.
He
Our
injured
first
himself.
win. Looks like Miller
Canucks
blocked a
win.
shot.
Oh my god,
I
wow.
really hope he's not injured.
And
Miller's
Yeah.
finally gets his 600th win. He
Yeah.
had to win.
Bruce is here to stay. Bruce
Oh,
is here to
jeez.
stay.
He got
Very smiling.
Miller is being helped off the ice after blocking a shot off the ankle in the dying seconds.
Oh, he's gonna be in. Oh no, he's not gonna be able to play now.
he injured himself.
He
for
is
that.
not putting any weight on that ankle.
He's needing a lot of help down.
What price did we pay for this win? Oh no.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
More IR.
$9 million a year for 7 years.
Hey man, it's 8.
Could be a
Sorry.
And it's
broken
next year.
bone, possibly,
Definitely a broken
foot or leg.
They're gonna have to saw his skate off.
Yo, he's not putting any pressure on it.
Yeah.
God, that's not a pretty sight for Aaron or
Doesn't-
the Canucks.
And that win did not come easy.
No.
No. That was not a.
I can't even fully say they deserved that win, to be honest.
No, they got outshot by quite a margin.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, tomorrow, Pittsburgh.
I don't see players wearing those shot blockers much anymore, like the plastic ones that go over the skate. Is that just like not cool anymore? I remember when defensemen used to just like block 20 shots a game off those things.
Yeah, it's so nerdy to wear those, Kyle.
I didn't get that memo.
Casts are way cooler. Come on.
The LTIR is so in right now.
Yeah, the LCR are regular season and just coming back for the playoffs. That's the key to success.
The Kucherov.
Yeah, exactly. But no, you're right. I don't see those anymore.
Only like a few veteran defensemen, I think, have them.
Like they make the skates a lot harder now, so sometimes you don't need them as much. But if you're still taking like a one-timer off the skate,
If you just took what Miller took, you're done.
oh, absolutely.
Like
Like a wrist shot, not so much, but
Mm-hmm.
even some guys can grip it though.
Well,
Any final comments on our big Canucks win before we wrap things up here?
it didn't come easy,
right.
and JT Mueller might be out, and yeah, right. Like,
We're
it's almost
happy, but
more
we're not too happy.
exactly.
Tomorrow
But
against Pittsburgh, so
yeah.
It's a small
So
step in the right direction, at least.
yeah, baby steps. Who knows? Maybe they'll win 6 in a row now. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Never know.
All right. Well, I guess that does it for us this week then. Like Corey alluded to earlier, please make sure you guys are going over to our Instagram and commenting on all of our posts. We have our Mikey Monday segment. We have our Trivia Tuesday and just any other clips that we think are interesting from our podcast over the couple weeks. Other than that, make sure that you guys are letting us know if you want to hear us talk about any other teams, because obviously we have a lot of Canucks fans here, our one Avalanche fan, but we want to talk about what you guys want to hear. So please let us know if there's any topics you guys want to hear us talk about. So other than that, we will see you next week, and happy Halloween.